Hey, it's Hackpacker, and I have a surprise for you up my sleeves. But before I explain what that is, let me tell you about the problem I'm trying to solve. Have you ever been backpacking and the temperature is a little bit uncomfortable for the conditions? So for me, a lot of times I warm up really quickly. Right now I'm wearing only a t-shirt, but the conditions are a little bit cold for that. However, if I was actually hiking, this is what I'd be wearing. The problem is sometimes the wind picks up, and tonight it's really, really windy. And I feel like maybe I want an extra layer, but I don't need a layer on my back because it's up against the pack. And sometimes I don't need a layer on my front because it's warm enough, it's kind of sweaty. But what I want is an extra layer on my arms. Sleeves, that's what I want. Now I've been backpacking in the Grand Canyon, and when I did that, I had just a lightweight, well, I had other clothing, but at one point I had just a lightweight shirt, but it was long sleeve. And I kept rolling the sleeves up when we get into the sunshine, and the temperature would get to be about 60 degrees. And when I was hiking, I'd be really warm. We'd go 10 or 20 minutes, and we'd come around a corner, and the sun would be, we'd be in shadow because we'd down in the canyon, and then it would be cool, and the breeze would be blowing, and I put my sleeves down again, and that really helped. That sometimes I'm hiking and I don't want long sleeves, but this condition still happens. So that's what I am attempting to address with my sleeves. Let's take off the pack. So tonight I'm wearing just additional sleeves. Now you say, Hackpacker, that's nothing new. Well, I know it's not anything new, but I made these sleeves. So I just got a pair of socks, long socks. These happen to be the women's socks. I'm wearing the men's socks, but I got both kinds. The men's socks were a little bit longer, so consider that if you try to do something similar. But they just roll down. I usually roll them down, but I'm just going to pull them down tonight. Anyway, so just sleeves that came from socks, and I cut off the end. That's all I did on these. So, now I am an advocate of layering. I don't typically layer my sleeves, but I've been experimenting with different sleeves made of different socks. So this is it's a different kind of sock. It's a long tube sock, and again I just cut the end out. So these are warmer than those probably, and then below these. Now, I've never actually hiked with 3 sleeves on, but I'm just showing you what you can do with a pair of socks. And I encourage you to give it a try because it really helps when the temperature changes just a few degrees up or down, or the sun comes out or the sun goes in, or the wind blows or the wind stops blowing, or you hike or you stop and you take a rest. And these are made out of a really thin sock. This is a pair of women's trouser socks, and this is my favorite pair. And this is what I hike with in the spring and the fall. They just roll down like this, and sometimes I'll just leave them on my wrist like that, and then when the wind blows, roll them back up again. So that's it. It's a simple concept, but I find it helpful because then I don't have to take off my pack to adjust how I'm feeling on my arms. And I can hike with this pair on my wrist. The other ones are a little too thick for that. I just take them off, shove them in a pocket. Anyway, let me show you some details about how I made them. Thanks for watching.
Here are some tips for making your own quickly adjustable and removable sleeves. You will need a pair of long socks, typically called tube socks, and a pair of scissors. Some tube socks have a prominent heel. You can allow it to stretch out, as I have done, or you might choose to remove the heel and stitch the whole together to make a continuous tube. My sock also has a prominent toe collar, and I'm choosing to keep about a 1/4 inch of that in order to include a black ring around the cuff of my wrist. One thing to note if you're attempting to cut out the toe area in a shape other than straight across is that you will want to make sure the sock is folded so the toe area forms a mirror image on the front and back sides. Otherwise, as you cut while looking at the top side, you may not be getting an identical cut on the opposing side. When you are sure the alignment is correct on both sides, carefully cut out the toe area. Here I have chosen to cut from both sides and to meet in the center. And it's finished. It may not be exactly perfect, but it is good enough for providing some added warmth and wind protection. Now it is time to slip it on. If your sock has a prominent heel location, as mine does, you will want to pay attention to the placement of that heel for aesthetic appearance. Unfortunately, the shape of the sock, which was made for a foot, does not properly match the length of my forearm, so the location of the heel area of the sock does not actually align with the elbow of my arm. But what is important to me is how it fits along my upper arm, and the length down to the wrist. Be aware that, depending on the material type, there may be a propensity for the cut edges to fray. For example, on this particular knit sock, cutting it initially caused a lot of tiny thread pieces to come off. Brushing my arms helped remove them. You may be able to see them collecting on the table. Thankfully, I've not experienced further fraying with this sock, nor with any other socks I have tried, but it does seem a possibility you may experience. However, if fraying becomes a problem, you can roll the cut edge under and sew it. For this, I recommend creating a double roll by tucking it under once, sewing that fold in place, then tucking the fold under a second time and sewing it again. That will place the cut edge completely inside the sewn fold, which should protect it from fraying with use. Now with this thinner black sock, I did not create a curved cut. I simply cut straight across the toe. Hey, look! I wonder what I can make with this small piece of leftover toe fabric. Maybe I can scrunch it up and make a lapel microphone windscreen. This black sock slides on more easily than the gray one. However, the heel does not stretch out to blend in with the rest of the sock. Instead, it sticks out like a little tab unless I tuck it in, which only takes a moment. One more tip is that I find it easiest to keep these new sleeves rolled up most of the time. That keeps them compact, easy to store, and quick to roll on and off my arms. Finally, as I do mean for these videos to be inspirational, do consider tinkering and exploring on your own. I briefly experimented with adding thumb holes and partially exposing my fingers, but I don't yet have it working to my liking. If you found this concept helpful, please take a moment to let me know. It's the best form of feedback I can receive. I'm Hackpacker. I hope to inspire you to enjoy your own great adventures and to do so in customized comfort and style. And with that, I will sleeve you